So, welcome to the community gardens here in Easton. This is part of the Natural Resources Trust of Easton. They've been in existence for 50 years. The gardens were started in 1974. It started with 12 gardens. However, it's grown over time. People love it. And we're now up to about 36 gardens. They are smaller, but a lot of people want to be a part of this. And we have gardeners here that have been here 1 year or they have been here 10 plus years. So people keep returning. And I'll say for myself, I'm a gardener as well here. That the thing that I love about it is that it's a beautiful spot. It's peaceful, calm, and it's like no other place I've been. And it's wonderful to come here after work and just, work on your garden in the summer and see animals and birds and just enjoy nature. So we're going to take you around to meet some of the gardeners, and they're going to give you a little bit about their gardens and what drew them to this garden as opposed to other community gardens. And you'll learn a little bit more about this special place. So we're back again. I have Cheryl here, one of the gardeners, and she is going to tell us a little bit about her garden. Cheryl, I think you've been here a couple of years, right?
Yeah, at least 7.
Oh, wow.
I got to look back and figure that one out, but I don't really remember.
And what brought you back all these years?
Well, it's the kale. I love the kale. I'm known for my kale salads.
Oh.
But it's just really nice to have produce that that it's clean, it's organic, and no bug sprays or chemical fertilizers have been used.
Yeah, exactly. That is a great thing about here. It is all organic.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
tell us what's in here. Here, I see some onions. That looks
the onions.
good.
I've had a rough year because I hurt my knee before everything got planted, so they almost didn't make it, but they're growing.
They look good.
Yep, and the cucumbers is my best year for cucumbers yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a few more in there that are almost ready to pick.
See those down here, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Then we have my basil, which I'm ready to make a bunch of pesto. I got 2 failed crops right here. Those are parsley, rosemary, my tomatoes. I actually already had a tomato and it was delicious according to my husband. This is chard, red chard. This plant here that's taking over is a butternut squash.
Ooh, I love butternut squash.
The deer, before I put up this crazy white fence, the deer got in my garden and ate off my sunflowers. So this one is coming back. It was supposed to be like a single one, but now it's got like 3 heads. See if we get any flowers.
Okay.
And that's a zucchini plant.
Yep.
My lovely wall of zinnias over there.
Zinnias.
I
They're
keep
so
those
nice.
in the house. And got a couple of pepper plants that are struggling along. Got a nice, this rhubarb is a perennial.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's crazy. I've already had a couple of pies and I tried giving it away. Do you like rhubarb?
I do, yeah.
Oh, I'll have to pick
I'd like
you
to
some.
try to make a rhubarb pie. I never have.
So.
That looks good, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what did you, after all these years, what have you found that does well in these gardens and what's more challenging?
Well, what does well is, for me, was to have these, you see these troughs that I have in there, and that keeps me from walking on the roots of the plants. My first year, I just had it all flat and I trampled on things, so this keeps me off of the plants.
Yep.
And the chard is just like that'll keep growing until October. So that's why I'm not the chard, the kale.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah. And that'll keep coming till October. And what's been tough this year was I had a hard time getting to the garden because of my knee injury, and this white rope. This is the first year that I had deer in the garden.
Yeah.
This early. It used to be late in the season they would come in, but by then I'd harvest most of the things.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, everyone's, I think, having trouble. There's a lot of rope pieces of rope going around the top here.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And
So,
the bunnies, too. The bunnies, but the bunnies don't get in here because I have a wire fence, but a lot of my colleagues have, or
neighbors, whatever.
yeah, neighbors
Yeah.
have bunny issues. They chew through the plastic, and
Yeah, I've heard that too. The
yeah,
plastic
they're very
chewing.
cute.
They are cute.
They're very
They're
cute.
really cute. A lot of babies this year.
Yep. And yeah, I think that's it. And
Okay.
usually my sunflowers are great. I've had like 12-foot tall. Someone over there, I don't know how the deer didn't eat theirs, but
Yeah. Yeah, especially the one that has the free form like sticks.
yeah,
That amazes me. They're able to, I guess they situate them a certain way so that, I don't know, it's like a special little way they build them. I haven't quite figured it out. But
me neither.
anyway. Yeah, so yeah, so it sounds like you keep coming back because you loved, gardening and the organic thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I just love coming to this field.
Yeah, I
It's so
come down.
calm.
My favorite time is like 6:30 in the morning. Nobody else. Well,
here.
Pepper Bob is
Yes,
usually
right,
here.
Pepper Bob. Yeah.
But it's just lovely. It's beautiful. It hasn't gotten hot yet, and it's very peaceful. And the
Yeah.
birds
Yeah.
are chirping, and it is great. And you see the bunnies.
Yes, the bunnies.
I haven't seen
I
the
see them
deers.
at 7 at
just their-
night. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
their hoof prints.
Well, thank you so much for taking a little time. We
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I can't resist showing you my garden as well. I have one of the smaller gardens, and I had a whole bunch of lettuce here, and you can see over here is a little more lettuce, and then I have over here a lot of peppers. They're starting to really come out. And then what I like to do is I like to mix for aesthetic purposes. I like flowers and vegetables together. I think it can look really pretty and add to the whole look of a garden, I guess. And so I've interspersed like that is a butterfly bush with the purple flowers. And then there's a rose over there, a nice rose that I put in. And then I have, these marigolds. They also help keep out insects, and they also supposedly help keep out bunnies, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. And around the whole garden, I have a bunch of beans that I've planted. They're kind of climbing up. Unfortunately, the beans are not doing well this year. I'm not sure why. And then this is a fennel, this big thing that's coming up with the green and the kind of fluffy look. And then I have about 7 different types of tomatoes growing. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm in my 3rd year of growing here, and I find that it's really a learning experience. I knew how to garden, but every year you just get more experienced and learn what works and what doesn't. One thing I learned from last year is that the soil is so important. And I spent a lot of time on my soil this year, and I feel like it's showing up in my garden. And, they have a compost heap way at the end of this field, and I was coming back and forth with my wheelbarrow, and then I put down cow manure, which didn't smell so good, and just mixed it all up. And it's really, the soil is like the really base thing they have to get right. So, anyway, and I just love the atmosphere here, as I've said before. So that's it. That's my garden. Okay, hi. I'm here now with Philippe, another gardener, and I have to say Philippe is kind of my mentor, but he doesn't know that, but now he does. So anyway, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been at these gardens?
I believe about 8 years now. Yeah.
That's a while. Yeah. So what do you think keeps bringing you back?
Well, I live in an apartment, so I don't really have space for a garden. So 8 years ago, when I saw that they had gardens here, I decided to join. And another thing that I like is that if you have any questions, we can ask each other.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, there's a lot going on here. So we were starting to look at tomatoes, which
Yep.
I'm loving. And you know, I love that they're black on top and then green. And you said they were going to turn orange. And what are they called?
They're called indigo ruby,
Mm.
and then there are like an heirloom one.
Wow.
So they're red at the bottom, and then they have like these black shoulders on top.
Wow. Beautiful. Is this the first year of those, or?
Yeah, it's the first time I planted those. Mostly I just do like the beefsteak ones, like the larger ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They're beautiful. And what else would you like us to see this?
Well, I have
take us
some
through this.
lettuce here,
Mm-hmm.
some beets,
Mm-hmm.
Swiss chard,
Mm.
some red onions on the back.
Nice. I see those. Those are big.
These are French shelling beans.
French shelling beans?
Yeah, these right here,
Wow. Okay.
going up those two poles.
Wow.
And then on the trellis, and then on the back fence over here, I have Italian like string beans,
Oh,
and they're like a purple string bean.
I see them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then when you cook them, they turn back to green.
Oh,
So
wow, that's cool.
it's kind of
Is
cool.
Is that a hair? That's not a heirloom thing. It's just a. type
I
of
don't think
bean.
so.
No.
No.
Okay. I like that.
And then I have some coriander here,
Mm.
but this year it didn't do so well, so it went into flower. But I don't mind because the insects love it.
Yeah, and it attracts them.
Yeah, it attracts them, and then once it flowers and it creates a seed pod, I can use it in food as well.
Okay. And the
So-
coriander is like a spice, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard of it. Yep. Yep. And you have the bee balm that I
Yeah.
literally saw like earlier. The little hummingbirds, just like amazing, coming in and out of them.
Yeah, like the bee balm doesn't look so great right now, but earlier it was
Oh,
looking
did.
better.
It looked great. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
hummingbirds love it.
Yes.
They're
do.
constantly in and out. They love the bee balm.
Yep.
And then I have some kale.
Mm, oh wow! Look at that. Looks
Yeah.
like sort of otherworldly, you know.
It's called Tuscan kale.
Mm.
Some people call it like dinosaur kale.
It looks like
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
Does it taste different, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then I have some eggplant
Yep.
here on the bottom,
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
and then some flowers like nasturtiums
Yes, those are nice.
throughout the bottom of the plants. And then most of the garden, half of it is like flowers.
Yeah.
Flowers, and then I have some raspberries
Around.
over there.
Yeah, they are.
So they're this plant right here,
Yep, I see them. Okay.
and then that one,
Okay. Right.
and then the one at the end where the sensor is.
Okay, where I saw a bee
Yep.
over there. Yes. Yeah,
And the
then you
bees
have
love them.
strawberries, right?
Yeah, I have alpine strawberries.
Mm.
They're very tiny.
Yes.
They don't grow much larger than this.
Mm.
They're very sweet. They're good.
They look very healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
What's this here?
that is, I'm trying to think now. I forget the name.
So this is the flower section over
So
here.
this is the flower section. I kind of bring some flowers into the vegetable area,
Yep.
but I like to have just this area's flowers and berries.
Yep.
I'm trying to bring more like pollinators over and beneficial insects.
Yeah.
So I make sure I plant certain plants that attract that.
Attract that. Yeah, to
Yeah.
help everything else.
Yeah.
So over the years, what have you found that, or what are some of the things you've learned? Would you say? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I mean, I've learned a lot. I remember my first year, I didn't know much. And I was starting plants in like March here, which of course, there's still danger of frost.
Yeah.
But there were people here like Bob that, told me, might be a little bit too early for that. So I started to learn,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about, soil
Yes.
and how to take care of it. I used a like no-dig method here,
Oh.
which I pretty much just put on straw or like wood chip or hay, grass. And what it does is the worms come up, bring it down, break it down, and make the soil like richer.
So you mean like a no-till process?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you instead of you weed it and then put the hay on top, or do you just put the hay on top of the weeds and let it kill off that way?
So the no-till method, I've been doing it for the last 2 years. And what I did my first year is in the spring, before I had anything on the garden, I put a layer of cardboard and then I put straw on top. So I made sure that no weeds were coming up.
Yeah.
because this garden had a lot of weeds.
Yeah.
So year after year, the weeds get weaker.
Yeah.
They don't come up as much. And by August, the cardboard is gone.
Yeah.
So all the worms, bring it down to the soil and make the soil like richer.
It's great.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about that. I didn't quite get to the cardboard part, but
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure how to do that, but it's a good idea.
Also, you don't have to weed it as much.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to water this garden like the whole year.
Really?
Yeah, because the sun is not absorbing as much of the moisture in the soil.
Yeah.
And
Because the
then-
soil's so rich, it looks.
Yeah, it's rich and
Yeah.
it's covered with the with a straw.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it keeps the moisture in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I keep the garden pretty dense with the plants,
Yes. And that helps.
and that helps.
Yeah,
That
because
helps
it's kind of
too.
areas of shade even in the full
Yeah.
sun.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to know. I've learned stuff from you. Yes, I learned about how to. My soil is so much better this year from your
You're right.
your suggestions about going back there and getting the compost and redoing all the soil, and it really
Yep.
makes a big difference.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
usually don't like to use I don't use at all any chemicals or anything here. And the only thing I use is a seaweed fertilizer, like an organic one, for the vegetables. I use some on the flowers, but I find that the soil is strong enough now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you don't need to do that.
as long as you're also feeding the soil, you're not just taking.
I'm sorry, I'm just interrupting. There's a hummingbird right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think you got
They're
it.
in and out.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead. I couldn't resist. So you said you didn't really need to fertilize because the soil is built up to such a great state.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
good.
I mean, you might want to fertilize like eggplant, stuff like that really needs it. But I feel like if you really take care of your soil, then you don't have to put as much work into it.
Right. Yeah. Good. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
joining us and
course.
and all the information. And I definitely, as you know, wanted you here. So thanks again for taking the time.
Yeah.
So we're back. I actually missed Bob. Bob, your last name again? I'm sorry.
Allison?
Bob Allison. I've learned a lot from Bob, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his garden and some many things I've actually learned from him, and possibly some tips. But I wanted to know, how long have you been doing the gardens here at the community gardens?
Gardening as a hobby since I was a late teenager. But here I came in 2000. Deer eat anything except tomatoes.
Oh,
My tomato garden on your right
yep.
is 46 different tomato plants. I think there's 12 varieties there.
Wow.
And it was all looking forward to an August salad of multicolored tomatoes and flavors.
Yeah.
Not really working out too good so far because it's been too wet.
Yes.
This
it
season has been atrocious because of the water.
I know. I noticed my tomatoes too.
Mhm.
It's been tough.
Inside, you see those sunflowers
I
there.
do. Yeah.
They're a dwarf called teddy bear. They have a
sweet
dinner-sized flower on a 2-foot tall plant,
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah.
But if you look at those plants, you can see they're about 3 feet
Yeah.
and quite consistent.
Yeah.
Each of the inner rows,
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, is actually from your toes here to center is a plant
Yeah.
variety, and
Yeah.
from there out is a second variety.
Yes. And you said that they're kind of dwarfed for this time of year because you
Yes.
think that you put them in a little early, which was like before May 20th, right?
Well,
Or we had a little
seeds
a
were in the
frost.
ground.
Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah.
When
Oh,
the
that's
cold
right.
weather
And then
came.
the frost hit. And tell us about where you take them. Are you still
Oh.
doing your same thing?
Sometimes I take them to my wife. She gets tired of them
Yeah.
just about this time of year.
Yeah.
But starting soon, I'll be able to do 8 or 10 dozen twice a week.
And
So
where
at
do
least once a week, I'll take them and give them away.
you take them to different places, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Usually I'll either go to one of the nursing homes or something like
That's
that.
nice.
We were just talking about peppers.
Yeah.
There's 46 pepper plants here,
Yep.
and they are just coming into maturity.
Yep.
These are this group to us called scorpion.
Oh.
I am kind of
What
afraid
color
of
are they? And I have a question about, well, these are hot peppers, aren't they?
Very.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow peppers, and I was told by the same Jerry's, the farmer there, that the green big peppers, those green regular
Yeah,
peppers,
bell.
that if you let them stay on the vine long enough, they'll turn red. Is that
Yes,
right?
that's their maturity.
Okay, I'm still waiting, but
No, they won't mature until probably almost mid to late September.
curious though, because I was person here, another gardener, told me that when you allow a couple of them to mature like that, it stops all the fruit, the rest of the fruit on the
It
plant.
can.
Yeah.
Let's start with the basic assumption that in nature, the one thing the plant wants to do is reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow it to mature that fruit to the point where it's got mature seeds,
Right.
it will kind of give up. Behind you, though, you mentioned these
Yeah,
Brussels
these
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are awesome.
If you,
Wow. So how do you pick them? Just pick them right off, right?
well, I believe you reach in with a knife and cut them off the stem. I'm letting these upper ones grow a little bit.
Yep.
The bugs came in, took out one full set of leaves, down a little bit,
Yeah.
the big ones. We have new bugs.
Mm-hmm. Good. You still have this looks like that we've had this beetle problem.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Do you
don't
take the
use
yellow
insecticides.
leaves? I'm just curious. Do you take the yellow leaves? When they look-
Again, right now they're wet from dew.
Now is that the bush butternut squash?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on
Nice. Yeah.
Just don't step on anything green. Here's your butternuts, and if you look, for example,
Nice.
there,
They're looking good.
here,
There's a
here,
lot.
over here against
How
the
many
fence.
bush plants are these?
3,
Yeah. So you got a lot.
and those are from seed.
Wow. Yeah.
And the beets, if you look, you'll see here, the size,
They're big.
they're huge.
Yeah.
But as my friend Steve was telling me, he loves beets.
Mm.
Whether it's a nickel dime sized beet, baby beet, or one of these 3-inch, they taste exactly the same.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Well,
thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate
thank
the
you.
chance
Yeah.
to chat.
Yeah.
Let's just say, I don't charge for sunflowers. I give them to the birds.
So I'm here at the community garden, and we have the House of Possibilities here.
Yes.
We've got Andrew and Carl, who's worked on this garden this year. And Carl has told me that I think this is like your 3rd year. Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. And I'd like to hear a little bit about what you've planted here this summer.
Well, we plant a whole bunch of things, like tomatoes, squash, peppers,
Yeah,
and they're growing really good and
Yeah.
everything.
yeah.
And we're trying the best we can to make it healthy for people to eat and stuff.
Show me around your garden a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes we'll have like little tomatoes over
I
there.
see, yeah.
And the peppers were over there a little bit. Is
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere.
Yep. Where are the
So-
peppers? I'm just trying to.
Well,
Oh, there's
they-
peppers. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. You still got a lot more tomatoes.
yeah.
That's great.
So,
Okay. Oh, I see the peppers right
yeah.
there. Right against your nice sign.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick this pepper, please?
Oh, let's see where.
Right there. Nice bell pepper, huh?
Sure.
Here's one.
Oh,
right
okay.
there.
So we've got Andrew picking the
That's
pepper.
Carl. That's
Carl?
Carl.
Right there.
I'm Andrew. This Carl.
Okay.
Turn around.
We have Carl picking the
Pepper.
pepper. And let's see, I see a lot of tomatoes in here.
Yeah.
So
The ones that are green, they still need to grow.
yeah, gotta let them
more.
grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
What?
brought you back to gardening? What do you like about it?
Well, it's a nice outdoor activity,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really nice to get out
And just do
and
something in
just
nature.
do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
We started off with seeds,
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
so it's a great experience for the members to
Enjoy
plant the seeds
outside.
and nurture them and water them and watch them grow
Yeah.
Yeah.
out of the ground and then be able to pick their harvest.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
It's
Yeah. So
good.
you did even the tomatoes from seed?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Everything.
Everything you see
I'm
here.
impressed.
So we would come over every week and we would see the progress. And when they were ready for picking, we come over and we pick. But the members come over, they water, they weed, they put the fence up.
Yep. That's a task. I
Hey,
know that.
Carl,
Yes,
I see a nice red one over there.
Yep.
They,
I can go.
Yeah.
I can go
yeah,
and
but
get
it's a nice process.
Yeah.
apple.
It's a nice learning.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Thank you
for
very much.
partaking in this. And I
No
want
problem.
to thank, I know it was kind of last minute. I was trying to pull this together. So
Thank you.
appreciate
I'm glad
you
it all
coming.
worked out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.